Speaking of theatricality, I mean, obviously everyone's still talking about that the impact and the death of David Bowie, which just like tore everyone apart. And just when I hear your music, and definitely when you're talking about the stage show, that's a lot of Bowie influence, I would suspect. So if you could just tell us what Bowie meant to you and what his music and visuals meant to you.
Definitely, David Bowie meant a lot to me from the time I was a kid to now, and the first time he was on my radar, again, was a movie. I was a big movie buff as a kid. I just watched a lot of films, spent a lot of time alone. And I was watching Labyrinth, and after seeing that, I wanted to be Jareth the Goblin King. I wanted to be him. I was like, there's nobody cooler. There's no more beautiful man. He is just awesome. And knowing that he could sing, I was like, who is this guy? And I was like 6 years old at the time. I was like, who is this dude? And then, listening to Hunky Dory and getting into, Space Oddity and all this stuff. First song I really got into was "Oh, You Pretty Things," which actually shares a similarity in exclamation point usage. It's "Oh, exclamation point, you pretty things" in the title, which is really cool. But David Bowie always symbolized originality to me, the most unique, rarest of our kind, I think. He had this ability to, every decade, or even half a decade sometimes, to reinvent not only his sound, his look, his image, him personally, get better as an artist. And not many people can do that as they get older. That's something that dies off, I think, as people get older. The dream dies off. You lose the child sense of wonderment, and that never died off with him. And he was always, I actually, the last album I did, Too Weird to Live, I wanted to mimic how David Bowie, I mean, he had a band and all this stuff, but how he presented himself on covers. And I didn't want to hide behind some other image on a cover. I wanted to put myself on it and use that in the most theatrical sense, in like an homage to David Bowie. So he has had an immense influence on me, and will always continue to do so, because there's just endless music that you can go back to, and it's so beautiful. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I just think he's had such an influence today. I mean, if you look at all the artists today in terms of what they do on stage, and just changing their sound up. I mean, this new album he has, which was also influenced by Kendrick Lamar, similar to yours, which I think is really interesting, actually. So there's like a little, tie-in, and neither one would you expect. Yeah.